Hello and good evening. Welcome to my show once again, Digging Deep. I'm your host, Paula, here on Digging Deep. Listen, tonight, you all, I know it's been a minute, but tonight we got a guest. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about. It's going to help us to be more knowledgeable what's happening in our city. Our city, what city is that? Alton, Illinois, part of the Metro East area. We're about like what? You say about 15 to 20 minutes downtown St. Louis. So I'm telling you, I'm excited of what we're going to talk about tonight. Listen, I promise you I will not be this long coming on again. I'm gonna keep this thing going consistent because I believe you, the viewers, want to hear what we have to say. All right. Well, without further ado, we got to get into this thing because we have a lot to discuss with our guests on tonight. Please help me welcome Rosetta Brown, Fourth Ward Alderman of Alton, Illinois. Come on, y'all. I can give them hearts out there. Give her a heart. Give us some hearts. All right, Miss Rosie, but we call her Rosie. Her name is Rosetta Brown, but we call her Rosie. And Rosie is the Fourth Ward Alderman in our city here in Alton, Illinois. So, Rosie, I want to go ahead and let's just dig right on in. Let me first ask you before we get to talking about you personally, what is an alderman? Alderwoman, alderperson, alderman.
As the Alderwoman of the Fourth Ward of this city, I am a liaison between the people and City Hall. Sometimes people don't feel comfortable going to City Hall addressing different things. So they call me and they voice their concerns and they say, hey, can you take care of this for me? So I
Mhm.
take it, I deal with it, I go to City Hall, and it's processed. Yes.
Okay, so when you say problems like, let's say, maybe the trash getting picked up late, that stuff like that you would deal with?
Yes, that along with weeds, along with potholes, crime, loud noises, whatever. They'll call on me and say, hey, I need to know how to get a solution to this problem.
So now, how do they call on you, Rosie?
I have a landline phone. Of course, I work, so I can't have my cell phone ringing. So I have a landline phone. They leave a message, and I get right back with them. Every day I come home and run my messages.
Okay,
Yeah.
can they email you too as well?
I have not put my email out there, but they have access to my landline phone, and it's there. And again, it's priority to me.
Okay, okay. So before we get into a little bit deeper into her being the fourth ward alderman, let's talk about Rosie because nothing like knowing somebody that is called to assist you and to help you in the community. So it's like when we learned about, let's just say Barack Obama, when we learned about him being, biracial, being from a Caucasian and from African descent, it helped us know more about him, how he was raised. So the same way we're going to ask Rosie about her. Now, some of you all live in Alton. You all know Rosie, have grew up around Rosie, have heard about, Rosie's family. So I'm going to let Rosie tell you about Rosie because who else could tell you better about yourself than yourself? All right, Rosie. So where were you born and how did you grow up?
I was born in this great city that sits on the hill, Alton, Illinois. I fell in love with Alton at a very young age. I am so proud to be the daughter of Mrs. Anna Mae Lewis, who's going to be 86 on next month. Ooh. Yes, and the late Pastor George Lewis. He pastored the church that I grew up in, Webster Temple Church of God in Christ, for 15 years.
Wait a minute, Rosie. You mean to tell me you are a preacher's daughter?
I am, and I'm proud to be a PK. Out of everything that I've accomplished, the foundation that they gave me through the church has definitely sustained me. So I'm so proud of my parents. I'm proud to be a sibling of five brothers and two sisters.
Wow.
I have some wonderful children, two sons and one daughter. And I tell you, life has been good. I was married to the late Roy Brown for 24 years. And I've been a widow. Unfortunately, he passed away. I've been a widow for 3 years. And it has given me hope to just know that I can go on and raise my family. Awesome. And that's where my strength comes from.
Awesome, awesome. So now, Rosie, I have come to see that you are a go-getter and a doer. So when you had those obstacles in your life with the passing of your husband, how did that affect you still being a go-getter and a doer?
It's slow. I have to be honest. I'm human. When my husband passed, It did slow me down just a little,
Yes.
but I heard him when I ran for Alderwoman the first time. He was so behind me, and I said, "Oh, okay, this is it," because I know he's looking down on me, and he does not want me to stand still.
Yes.
So just the aggressiveness, to go ahead, the trust the process. I just believe that this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing it not only for myself, not only for my family, but for those who are looking down on me.
All right. Okay. So now, Rosie, for those of you all didn't know, Rose used to be on the Albany Community School District number 11 school board. What made you transfer from the school board to now going into being the alderwoman? But now, some of you may know, Rosie won both positions. Am I correct, Rosie?
That is so true.
Okay, so share about that.
Because of the God-given drive that I have, and to God be the glory, I just, faith. I ran for both positions. I love being on the school board, and I also wanted to be the voice of the residents in the fourth ward. So I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to run for both of these. And I don't think anybody has ever ran for two positions at one time.
Girl, magic. Come on now.
and so again, to God be the glory. The people spoke. I won both positions. So in the end, they found out that I had to choose. I said, okay. So I thought I would be a better voice for my community in the position as alderwoman.
Wow.
And that proved to be true. Yes.
So you're saying that you felt you could do more as an alderwoman than you could as being on the school board?
Yes, most definitely. Because the school board, it focused more on the children,
Yes.
the parents, but I have a broad scope of what I focus on, and that is the betterment of our entire community, policies and procedures, just everything. Yes.
Okay. So now listen, that had to be an honor, and Rosie, that is a testament to your character to win both positions at the same time.
Yes.
That's it. See, everybody, you can be in leadership, but don't mean you are a good leader. One thing about you being what you in the position, it makes you a problem solver.
Most definitely. The people believed in me because I have been in the leadership position for a long time. I worked myself up to second vice president of the NAACP. So I have always been in the community. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, which also uh, kind of molded me into service for the city. I'm a member of Bright Hope Chapter number 85, which is a sisterhood. I just give back so much to my community, and service is what I do.
All right. Okay. So now, Rosie, what makes you to be the most qualified person for this position? Because listen, you haven't been around since the beginning of time, or since all the persons have been in existence. So what makes you a better alder person than the people of past? Now we know we're not dogging nobody, we're not throwing no shade, but you do have to understand that you ran for this for a reason. So what makes you the better person for the job in this season of time that we're in?
In my upbringing, I was very sheltered. So I,
From being at PK, right?
yeah, for being at PK.
And in Church of God in Christ.
Yes. So not many people out in the circular world knew me. But I'm telling you, when I did break out, I broke out and I was taken under the wings of many great people. They molded me, they trained me, and they believed in me. So from that point on, I began to believe in myself. And I truly believe that my constituents and my residents believe in me because may the work I do speak for me. I am very transparent and I have not led anyone astray. I am so available when needed. I'm looked upon as a true leader. During my campaign, I promised a lot of things. I promised the people that we'll be having monthly meetings where I will educate them on what's going on with the city, with the community, and whatever needs that they have. I promised that I would serve our youth and kind of keep them close. I promised that we would, out in Mexico, it's called Hampton Homes,
Yes.
that homeowners would become prosperous, and that has happened. I promised them that we'll get bathrooms in all of our parks, and that's going to happen. And I promised them that I would be true to my word and very available at all times.
So then now, Rosie, now I'm gonna say a little joke here. I don't know if you all remember the episode on Good Times that used to come on, with Florida and James Evans family, and they had an episode where Alderman Davis, he was the bald head guy that came on and was always, could never get Walona's name right. She was Walona, Wilhelmina, Willie, whatever. And so you're saying you're not like Alderman Davis who make promises, but he's not keeping them. You're the type of alderwoman that's going to say what you say, mean what you say, and do what you say you're going to do.
Most definitely. And I know my residents. They know me. I hardly can ever go into a grocery store. Hello, Rosie. People are just they embrace me so well, and they know that they can feel comfortable. I'm very approachable, and that's what makes our process really easy. Yeah.
So then, with that being said, Rosie, that has to make you feel good that your reputation precedes you.
It really does. I am true to the game. I trust the process of being led by how the people receive me and how I have the confidence of knowing that I'm doing a great job for the people. I sit on the council, and on the council, I make a lot of decisions for my residents. I fight hard. They know it. They're down there. They're watching it. And it's all about doing what's right, fighting for what's right. And that's what I'm about.
Okay, so now, Rosie, how many wards are there in the city of Alton?
There are 7 wards in the city of Alton, and I have to say that I look at the 4th ward as the leading ward of the city. There's so much that's going on. I've started the first annual picnic for the 4th ward. I've started the first annual skating parties for the 4th ward. Just a lot of annual, the first of everything. I've along with the residents, the volunteers in this ward, is just awesome.
So now, what area does your ward cover in the city of Alton?
It covers the Mexico area from the police station to Main Street. It covers Locust, Elizabeth, College, Central. It covers Dago Hill. I have about 2,500 residents in my ward. And I tell you what, I send Christmas cards.
Oh, now that's awesome.
I send Mother Day cards. I send Father Day cards. When I first got in, I did a Mother's Day luncheon, a Father's Day luncheon, and it was overwhelming. I was able to really, really see face to face my residents.
So now, Rosie, what you're telling me is that you really care about your position and the people.
I care about. It's not about me. It's all about me standing there and taking that oath and saying it's about the people. And I'm very passionate about that. They know that in the council. They know that in my monthly meetings. And my children know that. My parents know that. My church know that. And I just praise God for my pastor and first lady and the whole congregation of Webster Temple Church of God in Christ, because their prayers just help sustain me. Yeah.
Okay, so now, Rosie, now my show is called Digging Deep, so let's dig. So now, your ward is predominantly the Black area that sometimes the other city people look down on.
Yes. It's an undeserved, a lot of our children are just overlooked. A lot of our areas are overlooked. But I must say, and I'm not saying because I am the older woman and they respect me enough, when I call and say a street need fixed, or some grass need cut, or some weeds need chopped, or the police need to ride through here, the department heads, the city officials, they are very, very accommodating.
That's
so
awesome.
I have to give that to them.
That is good because that's what you're there for,
yes.
to help make sure that it is taken care of.
Yes.
And if everybody do their part, then it can work together.
And we are working together. I want to give kudos to Mayor Goins. I tell you what, our report is awesome because sometimes you don't find that on council. Yes. And he listens and he knows. He knows my concerns for my ward and the other wards.
So now, how has the other alder persons treated you by you coming in, let's just call you this new kid on the block, and you're making all these changes to the area that has not been so favorably highly spoken of, and you're making drastic changes. You're doing things that has not been done in the past. How are you embraced or treated coming in making change?
There's unity among us in that area. They see what I do. They give me kudos for what I do. And right now, what I am doing, because I have a couple of aldermen that cover Oakwood projects
Yes.
and Alden Acres, I've reached out to them and I said, I am going to start including your children into what I do. And they totally embraced that and was very happy.
See, and this is what this is about. It doesn't matter that you live on one side of the town or the other side of the town. We still all live in Alton, Illinois. And so we all have to work this together, and that's what you're doing. It's like bridging gaps.
Yes.
So then, Rosie, I can honestly say, I was born here, but I wasn't raised here, and then I came back, and you see the difference. But I can remember growing up as a kid when we had Jimmy Wilson.
Oh my goodness, Jimmy Wilson, he's definitely one of my idols. The late Jimmy Wilson, he was a true community leader out there in the Mexico area. He had a community center. Now, I wasn't able to rip and run or anything like that, but my church was right down the street.
Yes.
And I knew about those kids being able to go skating and swimming and all that.
I was one of them.
But I was not. So I would look out those church doors and I would see them load that bus up and I said, oh, okay. But it was for me to see that.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm doing now. I'm taking them skating, I'm taking them swimming, I'm taking them to the movies.
Yes.
So, everything happens for me. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing too, Rosie, you people really need mentors in their life, because you need somebody who's done what you're trying to do to help pull you up and give you goods to make a successful in what you're called to do. Because if we worry about jealousy or somebody outshining nobody, we can never help nobody else.
That is so true. And I just want to talk about my family roots as well. But jealousy can get away.
Yeah.
Get in the way. But don't let jealousy get in the way. Just be you, do you, and be about it. That's what you need to do, is be about it. But I am so proud to be a product of the Buchanan Lewis tree and also the Berry Shivers. And we have great family reunions. Yes. And they embrace me, and they're proud, and I'm proud of them. It's just wonderful. Yeah.
It's nothing like family having your back, because sometimes you can get family that will become jealous instead of helping, because people don't realize that when I go up, you go up, because we're connected. And this is what I'm seeing happening with you. I'm not in your war, sad to say, because I would be out there, with the boots on the ground doing right with you, because I believe in being a mover and a shaker too as well. So I'm glad between the gap of the Jimmy Wilson's time to now the Rosetta Brown's time that is coming back full circle, because nothing is new under the sun. And so you're bringing it back and taking the kids swimming, because one of our issues was we didn't really learn swimming as Black children. And so the highest drowning rate is among Blacks. Yes. Because we want to get in the water, but we don't know what to do with the water. Exactly. And so now you're, taking them swimming and bringing it back. And even skating was a big thing coming up. What was it, Mr. T's? That was a big thing for us to go skating and to have a little parties and events that Jimmy Wilson would have for us at the Middletown Neighborhood Center.
Yes. What puts the biggest smile on my face when I take them to these events? Oh, I learned how to swim. I learned how to skate for the first time. And they never want to leave. I'm like, okay, we're only here a short time. We'll do it again. But once they get it, they're like,
yes.
It's just awesome. The lives that you touch.
Yes.
When you just give back a little of your time. And that's why I said you'll get a sense of belonging by volunteering in this city.
Yes.
Just volunteer, give some of your time, and that'll make you belong and be a part of
yes.
it.
Yes. When you put your hands to the plow, you won't feel like an outsider, but you'll feel like a participant. You can have the ownership of that. And you know what, Rosie, what I come to realize, us with people of being of color, that we are into hands-on. We're into the fine arts. We need things to do. We're good with our hands. I have a granddaughter that's 9 years old. I love the theater. I love the plays and different things like that. So I took her to our first one that I had written one because I write, and took her to one, and she fell so in love. So now I'm dragging her. I went to take her to see the Shrek the musical,
Yeah.
and she is enjoying the fine arts. But we must introduce our children
We must.
into different things. Don't just, it ain't about just basketball. And basketball is wonderful, sports is wonderful, but everybody is not athletic. So you got to teach them how to swim, teach them how to skate, teach them how to go to the theater and things and stuff like that. So I am elated, Rosie, in what you're doing in your ward.
Thank you so much. I want to also mention that every Tuesday and Thursday I have a team at the parks, and they are there reading to the children, crafts, and games with them. And that's until that ended the end of July. But every summer, that's what I do. I have a team out there at the parks doing that.
So now, Rosie, if a child is not in your ward, can they participate too?
They can, you know what? They can participate in anything that I do. I say it's for the fourth ward, but it's truly open to any child. I will not turn any child away. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to have the second annual fourth ward picnic, and that's August 27th from 2 until August 25th from 2 until 6 at Hampton Gardens, and this is for the whole community. This is going to be great.
So now, how are you funding that for the food? Everybody bringing something? How does that go?
Well, the committee itself donates, and then we have businesses that hey, what are you doing? You need some help? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have that. Yeah.
Now, see, that's a community
Yes.
that don't mind giving, whether they live on that street, in that neighborhood. Now, that's what I'm talking about. The city of Alton is coming back up.
Yes, and I tell you that people are beginning to embrace it, and you'll be surprised at the number of people or other people that come out and help and call and say, "What can I do?" And I have this money out here, and no one ever asked for it, and just all kind of stuff. Yeah, and I want to feed into you because you're doing things. Yeah.
People don't mind being on a train that's moving.
That is so
Because you're going somewhere. And if you just sitting stagnant, nobody wants to sow nothing that's not going anywhere.
And I'm transparent in everything that I do. I try to make sure it's out there on social media. I try to make sure that the invites are out there. And I just try to just keep the communication flowing. Again, I have a fourth ward meeting every third Thursday at 6 o'clock. And it's packed.
And that's people in the community in your ward can come and be a part of that meeting.
Yes.
And they get a voice.
Yes.
Wait a minute. And they get a voice.
They get a voice. And then they can use their voice. And then what I do, okay, I got all these committees. I need you to do the work now.
Yes. Just don't talk about it, but as they say, be about it.
That's it. That's it.
Wow, Rosie, it sounds like to me you're going to be in this position for a while. Now, how long does an older person get to serve before they get re-elected again?
4 years. And that is so awesome because you have to have some time to get to know your people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have some time to get to know their wants, their concerns, and to help make those changes. So 4 years is really, really good. Yeah.
Wow. So every 4 years, you're up to be able to vote and run and go for it again.
Yes, and I do not take a minute of those 4 years for granted. I work, I do, I'm there, and I'm ready to just keep going with this. I do want another term.
Yes. Well, Rosie, we're going to stand with you for that. Let me ask you this. So, with your upbringing and being as a church, called a church girl, a PK, can you see how the values that your parents instilled in you has helped you today be an honest woman and be upfront about what it is that you do?
Yes, because you know about the 10 Commandments and how to respect people.
Yes.
That's one of the main things. You got to respect people. You got to keep jealousy out of it. You got to learn how to be a follower as well as a leader.
There you go.
You got to humble yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. And then everything else comes.
Yeah.
And keep prayer first in your life.
Yes.
And keep it moving.
So now, with you having children, and I can say this too because I'm a PK too. So my father was a pastor too in this city. He's deceased as well. And so, how does your children sometimes see you? Meaning, Rosie, the good and the bad. When I say the bad, like, Mom, we can't go nowhere. Everybody say, is you Rosie child? I'm gonna tell Rosie. So how did your children feel about that? And the good about the fact that, well, Mom, everybody knows you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with my daughter Anna Rose, who looks a lot like me.
Yes, she does.
So everywhere she goes, oh, you look just like your mother. I know you're gonna be some, as she's growing up, I know you're gonna be somebody because she's gonna make sure of that. So sure enough, my daughter grew up to be a lovely lady. She has a great career and she loves the Lord. And she backs me in everything that I do.
Awesome.
And my sons, I just had my oldest one go to college. He was my armor bearer. He was everywhere. He would just be my muscles and all that. And then I have my 17-year-old who's like, oh, Mom, I gotta do this all by myself now since my brother's gone. But he loves me. He loves me very much, and he's with me, and he likes what I do.
Yes.
They all really like what I do.
Good. Because I know at first my grandkids was like, everybody know you tell me to go somewhere. Is you like, I said, I be like, yeah. I'm like, so what's so bad about that? Well, we just can't do anything. Everybody know who we are. That's supposed to get your head. That's called perks, girl. Why with the perks, okay?
My sons are the media guys at our church, and so that's how I keep them close in the church because they really like what they do. And I'm talking about teenagers.
Yes.
And they're there every Sunday.
Awesome.
And don't have to fight with them. And Anna Rose, she, around the clock, she's there.
Yeah.
She's the leader of the church as well.
Well, see, your father trained up you and your mother trained up you, and now you doing the same thing, and you just keeping the cycle going, which is a good thing.
Yes, and that is one of my priorities. I don't lose sight on that. We pray together, we serve together, we play together.
Yes.
Family is so important.
Yes, that's awesome, Rose. So now we done talked about Rosie the PK. We done talked about Rosie the Alderwoman. Now in the midst of all this, there is a Rosie that's just plain old Rosie. So what does Rosie like to do in her spare time?
I love to travel. I love to eat out. I love to sit around and chat with my friends and laugh with them. I love to sit in my recliner and watch my movies, my Lifetime and all that. I love church and I love musicals. And I just love life.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So how does when Rosie is feeling a little down or Rosie a little discouraged, how does Rosie reboot herself? How does she, go in her cave and come out and do? Because everybody has those times and those moments. Nobody is on cloud 9 or 10 all the time. You have your moments or whatever. So where does Rosie run to? What does she do to get that encouragement that I can get up and go? Because I used to hear my father say, y'all didn't know I quit. I left the pulpit last Sunday. I quit. By the time Sunday morning came, I came back on. So y'all didn't know I quit and I came back. Yeah. So
well, my radio's always tuned into the gospel of Jesus Christ. Okay. And I hear a lot of inspiring speakers all the time. And I know where my hope is. And I go to God when I'm being attacked. Because when you're in a certain position, there's some darts that are going to be thrown at you. Yes. So, but I got that sword, and I've been taught, use that sword and keep it moving. Yes. And so and I do have my down seconds, and I'm pulling myself up, and I said, okay, it's all about, I know I must be doing something right. Yes. So,
and you got that confidence that you can go and just say, I need to be myself. I'm not Alderwoman. I'm not Mama. I am Rosie. I just want to just come and lay out and just vent today. Yes. You got that confidence?
I have that, and my husband was that person.
Okay.
I have a close girlfriend who I can do that to, and she's true to me. She will let me know, hey, maybe they're right in this.
Yes.
So maybe let's look at this and see how we gonna straighten that out.
Yes.
Yeah. So she gives it to me.
Yes. See, now that's the thing, that you need that good peer and that good friend that will tell you, hey, that dress ain't working for you today. I don't care how much you like, I don't care what you pay for it. That dress ain't working. And we need that. That helps keeps us grounded, that keep us rooted there. Because sometimes we can get out there and be thinking our own counsel, and you can't be your own counsel all the time. You need somebody else in your ear to be grounded and rooted. So that's good to hear, Rosie, because sometimes people only want to jump on your train, when your train is moving. While your train was still, then nobody wanted to believe in you would get with you. So that's good at this time that you have somebody that was used to call her riding down with you.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and she is that person.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'd be like, is she really my friend? But oh yeah, she's really,
Yeah.
yeah. A friend will tell you about you.
Yes, yes,
And not in a jealous way,
yes.
but in a constructive way.
Because you can tell jealousy
Oh,
when there's somebody in your circle and you come to find out, but why they always, how come they, cause I know I ain't seeing it, and you say, I ain't trying to start them, but do you know, see something about such and such, and they be like, yeah, so it ain't just me. Then you have to deal with that, and sometimes when you go to another level, everybody can't go with you.
right.
And then you got to also have it to what this is what I had to learn this, Rosie, that you got people who you can just maybe go out to eat with, and then that's it.
Mhm.
Then you got people that you just see every night, stop in the store, talk with them for 10 minutes, and that's it. Then you got that person that's in your bosom that you can go right and down, you can tell your deepest secrets with. There's different levels of people in your life.
That is so true, and I have been told while on this journey, Rosie, we know that you're nice and you receive people well, but everybody can't sit on the same bench with you. Some of those people you're gonna have to put in balcony.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do that because
Yes.
they're not always good for you.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so I'm learning that as I go.
Yeah. And it's not that you don't dislike them, it's just that when eagles soar high, chickens can't breathe up there because they're used to the low levelness. And up here, eagles just keep soaring higher and higher. And the higher they go, chickens can't breathe.
You're right, you're right. And I'm asked so often, how do you do what you do? Hey, the gift that God has put in me,
Yes.
I sometimes ask myself,
Yeah.
and then as I ask myself, more things are put into my spirit. And I know that He's not going to put no more on me than I can bear.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it for the good of the people.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's how
Yeah.
I do it. Yes.
And you know what? But when you love it, it's not work, it's passion.
Yes.
So passion is something you can go to bed with and wake up with and be up all night dealing with it because it's not work, it's what you love to do. So I get that, Rosie.
Oh, yes.
I get that.
And people come to me with all kind of ideas. I know you can follow this through, you know, because of what I see, and it's just awesome on how I'm being received and how people are just encouraging and giving me ideals and knowing that I can follow through. And most of all, my constituents, the residents of the city, I really love them and I love this city and I love the work that is being done in our new administration. It's just awesome.
Yes. So now you know we digging deep. Let me ask another little tough, challenging question. Is that when you know somebody is not for you. When you know they done ran their mouth. Has it been challenging at first to embrace them, but yet know who they are? It's like Judas. Jesus knew who Judas was, but he never mistreated him, but yet he knew who he was. So, because sometimes we have to learn how to treat a person who we know coming with you already with that dagger and they smiling. Was it challenging or have you had your challenges in dealing with people who you know, not guessing, not hearsay, you know are not for you. You know is jealous, but yet trying to be in your face or try to sabotage what you do. How does Rosie handle
I handle that with kindness
that?
because you can bring them in with kindness.
Yes.
And I can't change my character. I mean, you can't take me to your level.
Yeah.
So I'm going to remain me. You either you want to get with me or or not.
Yes.
So I'm going to remain myself. I'm going to say hello. You may not say hello back.
Yes.
I'm going to smile and I'm going to keep it moving.
Yes. Awesome. And I had to learn that because my thing is that don't get it in my face. You know, the kids say, "Oh, my face." We're not gonna do that. But people can be bold, and some are just sent to be able to help you mature in your character too. So that's a maturity in character. Is how I see that. Yeah, that's awesome, Rosie.
And it's all in the upbringing. And I consider myself very humble.
Yeah.
And I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. Whether you treat me that way or not, it's not my fault.
Yes.
I can go to bed at night because I've treated you properly.
Now, that's good. That's a good, clear conscience in how you treat people. It's not how people treat you, but how you respond back to people. That is awesome. Okay, Rosie. So now, it may be too soon. You say something like I say. I'm gonna dig a little deep. Is there in the horizon a chance that you want to be married again?
I most definitely want to be married again. And I know that when it's time, it's going to happen.
All right.
I have a lot to bring to the table. And God, He's going to open that door, and He knows the type of man that I seek and that I should have. He knows that.
Yes.
So I'm patient.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? Because they got this stigma out there when you're a strong Black woman that we just don't know how to submit and we want to run everything. No, I run what I'm supposed to run, but my household, I know how to be the woman.
Yes. Again, I've been taught that in life.
Yes.
I know my position.
Yes.
I was married 24 years, so that should say something.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful husband. I was submissive when need be.
Yes.
He was a breadwinner, and I helped out. I also worked and helped raise the family. So I know how to be a wife.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do want to be a wife.
Yes.
Again, one day.
Yeah. And see, I think what women sometimes don't realize, you don't become a wife when you say I do. You already a wife in the making. So when he findeth a wife, he already found you already in marriage in wife mode position. Not you going to become one when you say I do. No, that's not how it works. Right. You're already that when he finds you. Exactly. All right.
And I may look like this real strong woman that don't need no husband, but I'm telling you again, I love being married.
Yes.
And yes, I do.
Yes. That's all right. And you know what? And that's fine to make your request be made known, because usually once you've been married and marriage was wonderful, you do desire it again. And that is okay to have. Listen, do we want to take a few questions? Anybody want to throw some question out there that's not been able to do it? Okay, then we won't worry about that then. And so anything else you want to add to this interview, Rose? I tell you, it's been a pleasure you coming on my show, sharing what you shared. I think people have learned more about you who didn't know, because it's one thing to hear that Rosie did this. The other thing when you say it yourself, who you are, what you've been through, what your plans are, or what you're going to do. So, I turn it over to you at this point, Rosie.
I want to encourage everybody to follow your dreams. Stretch yourself. Just listen to what the words are saying to you. Yes, you can do it. Get out of the box. Step out of the box. And yes, you're looking at me and you're seeing what I am doing, but you can do it too. I want to groom young people to step up and be a part of their city and to just dive in, become volunteers, help us out. As an elected official, I'm here as a voice, and I'm very approachable, and all decisions that I make are definitely for you and for the good of the city and for the ward. I want to always tell the people to trust the process. It may not look like it's going to work, but trust the process, because in the end, you will win it. So just jump in, embrace your city, become volunteers, and just whatever is needed, help grow this city, because I tell you, it's gonna explode. It's on the move. It's on the move. And yes. I know you want to be a part of it.
Yes. And you know what? If you love where you live, you'll take care of it.
You got that right. The beautification of it. Call, I know there's a policy called no snitch policy, but we don't want to sit around and just watch crimes happen around in our neighborhood. Let's just get mindful, and also, I always talk about the litter. Carry your bag around in your car. Pick up your litter every morning. Let's keep our city beautiful.
Yes. You are so right about that, too, Rosie, because there was a point in our time here that Mexico was considered very rough, considered really crime driven, and different things happening. But if we would all remember that we grew up with each other, we know each other. Some people are cousins. Why do you want to fight and shoot when you're affecting a whole lot of people because you just hurt somebody who was friends with this one but was cousins to this one, and so but what you're doing, the way we shift the atmosphere is spew love, not hate. So the more unity that you're putting out there and the more love, we will shift the atmosphere and nobody will be wanting to fight and murder and any crime. So that what you're doing is shifting the atmosphere, Rosie. And I think that is so awesome in what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And again, to God be the glory. And again, I love doing what I do, and I have a lot more to give. Just keep trusting and believing in me.
Yes.
And you haven't seen nothing yet.
And I believe that. Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in here on tonight for my camera person working it out, y'all. Y'all better not talk about my camera person now. She doing a good job. So I just want to say these closing remarks from my perspective. Listen, we all heard what Rosie said tonight. She decided to become an alderwoman in my city, which is Alton, Illinois. You can't do what she's doing for notoriety, for fame, for selfish reasons. You have to have the people's best interest at heart, which she has. There is a scripture in the Bible that says, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. But when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So listen, you need to look around if you hold a position with any authority. And if the people are mourning more than they are rejoicing, then you need to check and examine yourself. The people will let you know how effective you are in your community, in your neighborhood, in your ward. So if the people are mourning more than they are rejoicing, examine yourself because it's a direct reflection on what you're doing. Listen, I just want to say thank you all for being here, coming on my show, watching what we had to do. Until next time, you be blessed, remain blessed, and support your alderwoman, Fourth Ward, Rosetta Brown. To God be the glory.